Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This will be the Series Issue Part 2 video. I promised I'd upload it straight after the other one. Life happened and now it's been like a week, 2 weeks. Apologies for the delay. Here it is. I also want to point out that I've also got a Fight Against Depression series. There's only a few episodes so far, I'm working on it. I'm working on talking to other content creators to contribute to it on their accounts and what have you. So if you think it could help somebody, I'm not bothered about the likes, the views, the money, the subscribers. I don't care. I want to help people. My goal is to help fix the world in as many ways as I can. So fight against depression. If you know anyone that's struggling, not just with depression, with other mental elements as well, health issues, please, they might help. Be very helpful. Might not be very helpful, but please, it yeah, I'm not asking for the likes or the views. I want to help people. And right, so onto the serious issue video part 2. There are many, many serious issues in the world, and it is beyond a joke that we live in 2025 like this. We have technology that can do anything, and some of these crimes and some of these big problems in humanity, in society, that just doesn't get addressed, or they get addressed and ignored. My goal with these videos is to spread awareness and hopefully gather enough of a collective to really start making change. I'm not necessarily want to be the head of the leader of them all. I'm not saying that. I want people to make their own content, share in any way they possibly can to help anybody else. It might not be much to you, but it could literally mean life and death to somebody else. Sharing, even just spreading awareness, and again with the right attitude. We need to start considering some more drastic measures to resolve some of these serious issues, because some of these issues are beyond inhumane. It's unnatural. It goes against nature. Some of these crimes that get committed daily, and it still happens, and it's always happened. Why is it still happening in 2025 with all this tech? We have the internet, right? Do you people understand what the internet is, right? Because I don't think the most people on this earth do. The internet is a collection of all human knowledge. Most of it is not being restricted or classified or whatever. Not going into conspiracies in this one. Or any others, really. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, we have access to the most powerful device known to mankind at his fingertips. We can communicate with people across the world instantaneously. We can share the cure for cancers across the world. The greed is a serious, really, really is a big one these days. Greed. Too many greedy people. You spend your life hoarding all this money just to die, and then it just sits there collecting dust forever. But that same money could go to feeding, helping, not even feeding the underprivileged, to invest in ways to sustain food so there's never any shortage. Or same with water and things. It can be done. It is easily done. A lot of these issues are really easily solved. It's just that they're just not doing them. We're not doing them for whatever reason. Humans are evolving just backwards, it seems. I don't want to make this into a rant of me just rambling on about issues, but I think this series is going to head that way. Because there's that many. The child... Well, I'll get into that one later. There's a lot of issues. Where can we start? Something maybe a bit lighter. It's still an issue. I don't prepare these videos. Although this is like the third attempt. Well, there's so many I could just pick out. I'm still for choice of problems to pick. There's that many. It's one of the things that's been really irritating me lately. For one smaller, more pettier things, I suppose. No, it's a serious issue. It's just there's priorities, right? Well, people, I can't get over how dumb some people are. I don't want to say dumb because I've met some actual dumb people, and they have more common sense than most folk these days. It's now if you're my goal is not to offend anyone; it's to fix the world, right? So if you get offended, this is on you, right? I think if you get offended, it's showing you more what you want in life rather than what I'm triggering you, right? If you're offended, it's your fault. I'm sorry, it is. I'm not trying to offend anybody. So, with that being said, if you're fat and over, not even fat, if you're morbidly obese, right, severely overweight, it will cause health issues. There's no sugarcoating it. You will end up with diabetes. You will end up with heart attacks, heart failure, strokes. There's so many. And you know them. But what baffles me is, you know all these... Right, if you want to be morbidly obese, right, and you know all the health consequences, fair enough. You be you, right? It's when, after you've spent 30 years stuffing your face, then you feel like you have a right to complain about how the healthcare is acting towards you, or how this hurts, that hurts, I've got this problem now, I've got that problem now, and you're trying to blame it on it. Where's it all come from? Why am I feeling this? Why am I this way? Why? I wonder why. It's because you stuff yourself silly. And this goes not just for food, this goes for all everything that you can consume. If you know what will happen if you consume brain rot and doom scrolling. You know what should happen if you eat too much. You smoke too much. I smoke. It's in my depression series. Go look at that. And I'll explain some of my addictions. Because I'm not perfect. I never claim to be perfect. I'm bringing light to some issues now. Because people are just, I don't know, they kick up backside to get going. I'm just using overweight for example, is my main, I don't know. Right. And then, after all these health issues occur, from consuming too much of anything, you'll go to the doctors, you'll go to the hospitals, you'll beg for the best health care and treatment, but you'll come to realise that the hospitals and the doctors' offices and all the medical positions have been full and overfull for a long time, and a lot of them, if you look around, would probably look like you, right? Addicts of food or anything, right? I'm not perfect. I've had addictions. I've had many problems. It's in my depression series. Go look it up on my channel. It you can't do all that to yourself. You know the side effects when you start doing these things, while doing these things, and then one day wake up and try and play the victim card when you've done it to yourself. No one's done this to you. No one's force fed you until you're 50 stone. It, you do it to yourself. And fair enough, right? If you want to eat yourself silly and become morbidly obese, if that's what you want, that each to their own, right? I'm not even getting on it being overweight. That's up to you. But what I'm getting is, you don't have the right to complain when things start going wrong that you knew were going to go wrong. And they keep making excuses. Oh, because and now I'm too tired. Just do it. Like, I mean, it's easier said than done. Like I said, I've got addiction videos and all sorts on my channel. Go look it up. If you see see me talk about my in depth of it. If you have it, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to get worked up. I've got many issues in my head and I want to get them all out. And there's only so many videos I can do at a time. So yeah, if you live your life, live in a certain way, you cannot act or play the victim card when you know what's going to happen, when you've been told what's going to happen. You can look it up yourself. You can't think for yourself. In fact, don't be sheep. Think for yourself. Look up. If you're more than, in fact, what's even the heaviest male, average male? It's like it shouldn't be much more than 13, 14 stone. Even if you, like, the taller you are, the heavier you're going to be. So even then, at 6 foot odd, you shouldn't be more than 15 stone. I was morbidly obese. It's in my videos. I was 17.5 stone. I'm down to 10.5. Because I saw the health risks. I saw what it would do into my body, doing to my health, and I changed it because you can't rely on the healthcare because it's overrun by people who don't look after themselves. If you don't brush your teeth, they're going to fall out. If you don't wipe your backside, you're going to get infections and diseases. If you don't shower, you're going to get so many more bacterial infections and I can't believe it has to be said in this day and age. Get a shower, right? If you've not had a whatever time it is for you, right? If people aren't asleep and you haven't been in shower today, get in shower. I don't care where you are, get in shower. If it's not for you, for everybody else. I've been on buses and all sorts today, running appointments. Get a shower. That and you, so yeah, the victim mentality. All this happens, and you wonder why it happened. You try and act like surprised when it happens. You can't do that. You don't have the right. If you want to live your life living that lifestyle, you don't have a right to complain about the consequences of that lifestyle. I'm sorry, but you don't. You did it to yourself. If you did it to yourself, fully aware of what you're doing to yourself, it is your fault. Nobody else's, but yours. Now, if you get offended over this, then, well, you're just proving my point. That's another thing. People are getting far too offended over nothing these days. That's beyond a joke as well. Grow up. Just grow up. Yeah, life's hard sometimes. And, I don't know. My days, man, I don't know. There's so much I could say. So much stuff I can't say on YouTube. I might create a free Patreon's account or something so you can see me unfiltered. I'll be back in a moment. I'll let me collect my thoughts. Hi, right. Also, on point, I think I mentioned that video. I'm sorry about the flashing. Apologies. I can't control that. I can't turn the light off. It does my head in. So I've had a minute and I've thought, collect my thoughts. I think this is a good time to segue into the deadly sins. There's many. In fact, deadly sins deserves its own entire video. Maybe multiple. But the deadly sins, I've experienced many sins. I've done them. I've done. It's in my depression. Like I said, it's in maybe other videos. If you want to see me talk about it deeply about my own experiences with such things, but I've experienced like gluttony, greed, lust, pride, ego, I've pushed most of the deadly sins to the limits. Well, not to the limits, but I've deep delved into each and every one in my own way over the years. And ultimately led to me depression. And like I say, if you want to know more, see the other videos. But again, I've experienced them, so I do feel like I have some right to speak on them. I'm going to speak on them regardless. I don't care if you get mad. 7, yeah, greed. A few of the sins can. It doesn't mean you're religious. You don't have to be religious to see these sins. Don't think of them as sins. Think of them as they're not in moderation. They're fine. Each one's fine in moderation. Same with a lot of things. It's when it's too easy to get lost in them. It is, and many people do these days. Greed, especially. Gluttony is a form of greed as well. But greed, there's too much greed. Well, there's too many greedy people. There's so many things that we could be doing. Oh, fuck. Right, sorry guys, I've got to go for a minute. Oh, so I'm back. It has been like 2 hours for me. Oh, that took some doing. Right, what were we talking about? I don't know, I just paused it. I just come back. Serious issues. I can't remember what we're talking about. There's plenty we can pick up on. So, serious issues. Let's see, what's another one? People are too soft these days. There's that. Serious issues. Yeah, driving. People. It often seems people don't even have a license anymore. People are just driving for the sake of driving. Because there's no way on this planet if these drivers have passed the test. It's impossible. Every day there's kids getting knocked down constantly. It's all over Instagram and other things and news. You can see it. You just have to walk down the street and you'll see it. It is ridiculous. There's no way on this planet that's worth it rushing so much that you risk a child's life. In fact, there's nothing worth risking a child's life or harming a child in any way. It's wrong. It's very wrong. If you don't think it's wrong, I suggest you go dig a hole and bury yourself in it. Because children have done nothing wrong. They've done nothing to deserve some of the awful, awful things that happen to them. And when it comes to driving, it's not just kids, it's mothers. There were, a couple of months ago, there were an entire family, but there were mum and dad, and three sisters in a car. All died but one, the youngest girl. How do you think she's going to live the rest of her life? And do you know the guy who caused this? He was drunk. He killed an entire family and scarred a little girl for life because he was drunk and he felt like he had to get on faster than anybody else. Don't matter about anybody else. People are far too selfish these days. And that's where a big problem lies. People aren't looking out for each other like we're supposed to. Humans evolved to be social creatures. That's why we came up with social media and actual communicating with people across the world. We have put satellites in space. Does that register to you? We have put tons of metal and rocks in space so we can communicate. Are you watching this video? If you're watching this, it's satellites and Wi-Fi, and you see, and all that work's gone into it. But people don't use it for what it's for. It sounds like I'm going off on tangents, but I'm a bit just fed up at where things are. It is baffling. What on earth are you rushing for like that? Especially when you're driving a 5-ton metal vehicle where it's going over 60 mile an hour. The speed limits for a reason is to keep the pedestrians safe, the children safe, the animals safe. Most of the animals. It's another issue. If you're late for work, ring up and tell them you're late, I'm running late. I'm sorry, I need an extra 20 minutes, half hour, take it from my pay. Because if you're running 20-30 minutes behind for work, yeah, sometimes there's unseen circumstances that get in the way. But are you always close to being late? Are you always riding just on time? Because you might have to consider, I don't know, setting off a bit earlier. Be wise with your time, be smart, be intelligent. It doesn't take much sense. If you need to be somewhere at 10 AM and it takes 45 minutes to get there, on a bus, for example, and then you've got to take into account the distance between the bus stopping and going to where you need to go, or the distance from the car to the work, and then you've got to consider the traffic, the roadworks. Use your brain. You must have seen roads, because if you haven't, and you're driving, get out of the car. Because you're killing everybody. And yourselves. Well, not yourselves, your lot don't die. It's the innocent children that die, and their families. Just to be left traumatised. Forever. Is that really a world you want to live in? Wait. If you don't have kids, and you're gonna... I don't know how to feel about children, I don't have any. Think of it this way. Imagine if your mother or one of your parents was a child and this happened. Or even imagine you were a child, it's 5, just walking across the street. Yes, you should have been supervised, but you did the right thing. You stopped at for example, you stopped at traffic lights, you pressed the button to wait for the green man to tell you to walk across, or arrow or whatever. But a car's coming at 80 mile an hour off his marbles and also it, so just rushing. Speed straight through and kill. What if that were you walking across the road, or your sibling, or some other family member, or a close friend? Hell, even if you don't care for people that little, imagine if it were a PlayStation. Imagine if it were a £500 laptop, brand new, and that went middle of the road, and people were running for it because it's so fast, so dangerous, because they can't. They've got to get there 5 minutes before everybody else. Because they never do. You see all these people speeding off, and you pull up behind them on traffic light, roundabouts and traffic lights. They're going 80, 90 mile an hour, overtaking everybody. You still don't end up behind them. How much time have they saved? None. Idiots, man. If you don't want to change for yourself, change for everybody else. There's the amount of heinous acts that go off constantly. The child abuse, it is disturbing. The human trafficking, it's just wrong. Why are we letting it happen in 2025? We have so much technology. We're on about terraforming another planet and living there. We can't even solve the basic issues on Earth. No more all rich ones want to bugger off to another planet. This one's done for if we're not careful. There's going to be no one left. Untraumatized. from there's a global idiocracy. Because it's plain obvious every year there's more and more children that's getting more and more mental health issues. And don't come to me and tell me it's because we're better reading them and understanding their situations. No. There is a clear difference from even 10 years ago when I was at school to now. Every child now has got, nearly every child has got autism or something, or ADHD. And there's nothing wrong with having mental illnesses. I have traits of autism. I've got family members who have struggled with it. Some of my best friends, in fact most of my best friends, the good ones, were ADHD and stuff. But yeah, every year there's more and more children with more and more health issues, mental health issues, even actual health issues. Children are getting born and already decomposing before they even get out of womb. At this point, we have mounted processed garbage we eat. Another thing that really winds me up these days. Parents, for God's sake, parents, your only duty as a parent, right? Keep the child alive. Keep the child healthy. Keep the child warm. You are supposed to instill discipline, respect. You're supposed to teach them how to be a decent human being. And what I've seen is the children, you're not teaching your children, the children are copying you and becoming complete and utter asswipes. Right? It is beyond belief how bad humanity is getting. And I'm really starting to get worked up again. Because it blows my mind how we're still learning to happen. All these problems. Yeah, parents, remember, you teach the children how to be a decent adult. You prepare that child for life. You teach him the healthy habits, the rights and the wrongs. Because no kid has respect anymore. There's very, very few that do. Everybody under 18, no respect. And even a lot of adults, like even my age range, I'm 22. In fact, even going back to millennials, the health issues is beyond a joke. And another thing, how on earth does 25% of America think chocolate milk comes from brown cows? And it's not just America. There's them sort of idiots over here in the UK. There's all over the world. But how is it a quarter of your population? They're just as bad. I'm not getting out of America about it. I'm just the first name that came into my mind. How does what? Are these schools actually the schools? There's no point in going to school. Honestly, you learn more from looking at YouTube. You learn more from watching paint dry than going to these schools. They don't teach you to learn. They don't teach you to be smart. They teach you how to fit into a mould. How you work 9 till 5 as a zombie. Just so you can earn enough just to keep going back to work. I know I'm just brushing up on some headlines of these issues, and I want to go into all of them in great and mighty length, and I'm going to do at some point. This serious issues, this is going to be a long series as well, like my fight against depression. I am going to make a playlist of as many episodes as it takes, for as long as it takes, even the rest of my life if I have to, or until YouTube comes down with the rest of the internet. It can happen. I'm, I'm, I know a lot's been said in this video, and I apologise for that. My life is chaotic at times. So, yeah, for now, I think I'll leave this here. I will do another one as soon as I can. Like I said, I'm busy, I'm always busy. So I'll do what I can when I can. But I do fully intend to try and dedicate a lot more of my time to making videos like this and my fight against depression. I am going to throw a few normal videos in, like try not to laugh some games or whatever, here and there, just to balance content. But primarily, I'm going to go down the route of making these videos, the fight against depression and mental health issues. And my goal, like I said, is not to offend anyone. It's not to... Well, in fact, my goal is to call people out. But my goal is not to offend people. If you get offended, chances are you're just proving my point, right? So, if you get offended, I'm sorry, but on my videos, you get offended over me? You can't see in life, mate. If you get offended from what I'm saying, you need to have a serious look at mirror and consider what you want, where you're going in life. Really have a deep think of where you're going in life. People, remember, think for yourselves. Don't be a sheep. My advice for some subjects might not work for everybody, but it's another way to look at it, right? And hopefully that, even if you look at it a different way, it can help create new ideas. But like I said, I'm going to have to go again. I've got many things going off. So remember, think for yourselves, stay well, keep sharing these messages if you can. Try and bring more attention to these situations and all other situations. In fact, even if one or two of you picked, like, I don't know, addictions, right? And then other two picked mental health, like, I don't know, ADHD. Another two picked autism. Another two picked something else. And we all start pumping content out based on that to try and help people. It doesn't like I say, it doesn't have to be much. We can work together. You don't have to pick one or the other. You can do everything like I'm going to try and do. The idea is we need more awareness. We need to start making changes in the world and ourselves, especially ourselves. To change the world, we must first change our world within. And before long, like I said, I think I said this at the beginning of this video, don't be surprised if you don't change. If people don't start changing soon, the world is going to fall. You're not going to be able to. You're not going to have a right to play a victim. For a lot of you. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of good people. There's a hell of a lot more worse people. So be careful. Keep an eye on your kids. If your parent got kids, go see what they're doing. Go check their phones. Go see what they're scrolling on TikTok and Instagram and whatever else. Be there for your children. Just be there. Right? Be there. There's no more to it. Be there for your children. You chose to have a child. It's your responsibility. Right? And if you really are in such a mess that you can't look after a child, you know you're not capable of looking after a child, there are services that you can... I can't believe I'm saying this. There's services that you can give children to and they'll look after them. Even though them services aren't great either with what they do. A lot of them are underground rings of such. It's YouTube. Yeah. But just be careful. Look after your children. There are services around if you can't look after your children. And don't have a child unless you're 100% certain you can look after it. Don't have a child before 20. Stop, don't have sex before you're 20. It's stupid. Feels nice, sure. Is it worth? Is it worth ruining your entire life? Or at least the 20, 30 years you're gonna be looking after that child? Because where things are at minute, you won't be moving out. They'll be living with you for life. I might just be lucky enough to get out of mine. But these next generations, there's nowhere, there's no resources. There is, but we don't get any. There's, well, next video, right? So yeah, I meant to finish this. Keep going on. Right. Yeah, stay well, think for yourselves, don't be sheep. Share these messages, check out my other videos. See you next time.